On certain nights, when we believe our homes to be the safest place, something unknown lurks in the shadows. Our camera accidentally captured footage that reveals the unexplainable presence within these walls. What you are about to see. Are you prepared to witness it? Number 20. Two young girls find themselves alone in their cozy house one evening. As they sit together, one of them catches a glimpse of something peculiar at the doorway. With a quick pause of the video they were watching, they both focus their attention on what appears to be the upper half of a young girl, dressed in outdated clothing, hovering mysteriously in the air. The girl, with an expression of curiosity, peeks into their space as if to observe their activities. As they cautiously follow the ghost's retreat, they witness a startling phenomenon. The ghost effortlessly teleports, reappearing at the top of the staircase, their hearts pounding with fear. The girls scream louder than ever before as they hasten their retreat from the haunted house, leaving behind the chilling memory of their encounter with Ghost Girl. Number 19. 2.5 years ago, we moved into an old farmhouse, and since then, peculiar occurrences have become a regular part of our lives. The epicenter of these strange happenings is undoubtedly the blue dining rooms. While musical instruments in the house often played by themselves over the years, recently, our attention has been captivated by the piano. Curious about its behavior, we decided to set up a camera to capture any unusual activity. The initial part of the recording is admittedly slow, lasting several minutes, which might test the patience of some viewers. However, amidst the seemingly mundane moments, there are noteworthy occurrences. A mysterious light appears on the wall, defying explanation. It's not a laser pointer, and intriguingly, it never recurs. As the clock strikes 2:19 a.m., an unexpected event unfolds. The piano lid mysteriously pops open. No visible strings or obvious means can account for this action. Perhaps you can find an explanation. Delving into the farmhouse's history, we discover that it was once inhabited by a lone old woman. Legend has it that she passed away at exactly 2:19 in the morning. Noted for her musical prowess, this time is also significant because it's when the Spencer piano, located in the same room, seemingly plays by itself. At first, my assumption led me to believe that Annie or her boyfriend must be seated off to the side manipulating the piano. However, a surprising twist unfolds in the next part of the recording, challenging my initial interpretation. Unexpectedly, something peculiar occurs, challenging any logical explanation. Initially, I consider worn-out piano wires as a cause for the spontaneous note, a common phenomenon. However, this theory loses credibility as no such incidents occurred in the preceding full minutes. Adding to the enigma, a tray and clock move simultaneously. While one could argue that someone off-camera manipulated the tray, the clock's mysterious opening remains unexplained. I'm seeking clarification. Could this piano be one of those antique models designed to play autonomously? If not, I'm genuinely perplexed, as I can't fathom how such occurrences are feasible. Even if the piano has the capability to play on its own. So, the idea of the piano playing by itself seems plausible, but the notion of it shutting on its own is beyond belief. While Annie might have forcefully closed the lid off camera, the subsequent reflection and what appears to be someone sitting down perplex me. At this point, I'm compelled to admit that I've exhausted rational explanations. It seems increasingly likely that paranormal forces are at play. Whether someone is off camera or not, the impossibility of playing a piano with the lid closed boggles my mind. This farmhouse is likely haunted by someone who refuses to acknowledge their departure. Number 18. With the rise of home security systems, individuals can now capture the most unusual moments on what might appear to be just another ordinary day. User Prometheus82 shared a post on the Paranormal subreddit recounting an incident involving him and his daughter on Thanksgiving, while they were in the kitchen preparing dinner late at night. A brief moment diverted their attention from the task. Without any apparent explanation, an empty bottle on a counter a few feet behind them inexplicably tipped over. No one else was nearby at the time, and the camera's recognition software did not pick up any movement upon closer inspection. Upon review, it was observed that the bottle toppled over as if aggressively pushed or flicked with a finger. Both the father and daughter noticed it, pausing in contemplation over what had happened. In the Reddit post, Prometheus explains that this was the first such instance, and neither he nor his wife had any relatives pass away around that time. He has made several edits to update people on the situation, providing a backstory to the events. He explains that the house is over 70 years old, with various owners prior to him. Strange occurrences began after he heard noises from the attic and investigated, finding an old rocking chair made for a toddler, which none of the previous owners claimed to have. Prometheus mentions that strange incidents started only after he moved the rocking chair into the storm shelters. There are various incidents of spirits becoming attached to objects they held dearly in life, and moving or tossing such objects can cause distress, often serving as the catalyst for paranormal activity. Considering the size of the chair and the minor events that transpired, it is possible that the spirit could be that of a child, harmless and only causing a mild disturbance. However, with the limited information available, it is difficult to determine. Due to the positive response from viewers and the number of views it has garnered, Prometheus is considering live streaming the chair for an entire night. Now, this has not happened, but we certainly hope he does to further document the strange happenings in his home and determine whether or not they are related to the chair. Number 17. Humans aren't the only ones sensing ghosts in our midst. Animals are well known for being sensitive to various stimuli. They often accurately predict earthquakes, acting extremely anxious and skittish beforehand. These sensitivities also seem to include sensing paranormal entities. There are countless stories of pet owners describing their pets reacting to unseen figures or becoming distressed before a paranormal event. Happy Fox Productions, a channel making short films from comedy to action to drama, had a different experience. Founder Justin Nelson explained that during a vacation with his mother in December, their home security picked up something strange. Upon returning home, they noticed the cats acting differently. Concerned, they checked the footage and found something shocking and puzzling. In the video, one cat is visible on the bed, standing upright and looking around. She reacts to something near the exit of the room, and then an unexplained shadow is cast against the door, resembling a person with arms and legs. The shadow appears to walk past the door and into the bedroom, and as it fades, the second cat enters, seemingly following the unseen. Both cats appear confused. As the second cat fully enters the room, a TV table rocks. A dark mist briefly appears over a chair before vanishing, and the door starts closing on its own. The clip ends when the camera suddenly pans to the right, and Nelson mentions it stayed there for the remainder of their time away. In the video's description, he notes that besides a few knocked over books, nothing seemed out of place. However, he found clumps of cat hair around, indicating that cats were fighting, which was odd as they had never fought before. Number 16. This couple is dedicated, as their description states, to searching for paranormal activity in places with terrifying histories. Sometimes when investigating, hosts have reported that entities followed investigators to their homes. In their case, they believed that someone they had made contact with on a previous investigation did just that. In January, they hosted a live stream to document what they believed was a haunting in their home. Hoping to find evidence and answers, they invited the public to join the session. The first half of the investigation seemed to produce little results, but something disturbing appeared as they ventured down the stairs. Through a glazed window overlooking the stairs, the figure of a woman could be seen staring towards the camera. At first glance, it could easily be mistaken for a painting. However, upon closer inspection, you can see there is actual depth to it, something a painting would be impossible to have. The figure looks either like a woman with long dark hair or someone wearing a robe. To further prove it is not a painting, the same window is shown a few minutes later, and the figure is gone. Furthermore, they venture outside to show the other side, and it is several feet above the ground, making it impossible for anyone to get up there without a ladder. Nothing around the window resembles the figure, as it has simply vanished. As they descend further down the stairs, an orb can be seen flying fast across the top left corner of the screen. Once they reach the bottom step, a loud, low exhale can be.
La esfera.
Their sound is too low-pitched to be from either of the couple, as we could hear them breathing beforehand, and it doesn't match. It's also possible it was the sound of something sliding. Although we cannot see what or if anything moves, unfortunately, the remainder of the video becomes uneventful, and other apparent orbs can be easily explained. For example, while they are filming a mirror, a glowing orb-like spectacle can be seen flying around. However, when the camera's light is turned off, it disappears, meaning it was simply a glare from the light itself. It's terrifying to imagine something becoming attached to you and following you back to your home. It's one of the risks when going on investigations, meaning it is not for the faint of heart. It also shows how there are more than just physical dangers on these adventures. Even professional investigators, like Ghost Adventures, suffer from severe states of paranormal oppression and even possession. This serves as a warning for those who decide to take up the cause for themselves. Take heed and be aware of what you're getting into, even if you are a skeptic or non-believer. Respect the locations you are visiting. Number 15. Versus After. The troubling video I'm sharing was uploaded in March 2017 by someone struggling on the brink of self-destruction for years. The situation worsened over time, feeling like something is relentlessly pursuing them.
I don't know what else to say, except goodbye.
You won't believe his next actions. But first, let me share his story. His mental struggle began about 2 years before he said his final goodbye. That's when someone started knocking on his door almost every night. He was living alone and incredibly private. He never revealed his name. Having a visitor was unusual for him, especially in the middle of the night. At first, the knocks were bothersome, but he hoped ignoring them would make them stop. When that failed, he started documenting everything early on, just in case he needed evidence for the police later. He also decided to confront and defend himself if necessary. The incident in February began with 2 soft knocks that could easily be dismissed as imagination. But after 3 weeks of trouble, he's jumpy, catching every sound. Ready to face the problem head-on, he acts forcefully. But there's a big issue. Nothing is ever there to confront. Listen closely to this part, because I hear chatter after he locks up. He sets up another camera outside the next night, on exactly that Friday in February. True to form, it begins anew. He opens the door, but no one's there. It's not 2 separate videos. His actions align perfectly in both, like when he smooths his hair at a specific minute and second. Even with practice, it couldn't be this precise. Also, this happens at an unusual hour, when anyone would want to move, but he couldn't due to financial constraints. Unable to endure it anymore, he decides to go outside before dawn, attempting to capture whatever is responsible on video. Although he doesn't spot them, he discovers footprints leading to the woods, resembling a hoof with 2 legs instead of 4. Some suggest it might be a demon or something encrypted, but I can't confirm that. What I do know is he genuinely went out at that time, as the sound of a train persists throughout the video. Strangely, a late-night train interferes with all his videos, suggesting a close connection. Something unfortunate may have occurred on the nearby tracks. By August, whatever left those footprints sought alternative ways inside, both day and night. It was no longer confined to a single time frame. Please tell me if this is an animal or something much worse. I didn't hear any claws tapping. This was the sound of something swift. Raccoons or possums do this at night, but this was big in broad daylight, like a restless spirit. For years of such encounters, maybe you'll grasp why. After saying goodbye in March, we opted to leave the door open and end the farewell. Whatever it was, it sounded far from human. Over 2 years later, this enigmatic final video was uploaded in January. Those sound like church bells. Perhaps this clip is from a funeral. Could it be his? And the person typing these replies doesn't behave like him at all. Number 14. A spooky CCTV video of a woman's ghostly experience went viral in 2016 and has scared people ever since. Let's find out if it's a real possession or just someone pretending their house is haunted. The eerie events start late at night, around 3 a.m. when a ghost opens a door. There's some movement in the doorway. Maybe an apparition or just pixelation. The seeker CCTV captures her bedspread falling as if pulled by a ghost. Startled and scared, she's awake and confused. In the darkness, a spirit orb flies away while scary noises are heard off camera simultaneously. She flicks on the light, but it turns off on its own. Another ghost orb flies away, leaving her scared. Moving to the next room, paranormal activity continues. On CCTV, it's tricky to see, but the light switches, her hand on the bed, the light going on, and she's scared in the dark, fumbling for her phone. A final spirit orb flies away. Despite the scary video, doubts arise about its authenticity. Watch the corner of her pillow. It moves like there's a string. Instead of a ghost, it seems she might be moving the covers with her leg. The creepy noises could be someone off camera, and the light might have two switches, one unseen. Nonetheless, this footage is terrifying. Number 13. Number 12. In a quaint suburban home, no ghost hunter, a weary YouTuber, finds himself plagued by unexplained phenomena. Determined to document the eerie occurrences, he sets up cameras throughout his house. As the clock strikes midnight, strange noises echo through the halls, escalating into thunderous bangs and the violent rocking of his HTV. Undeterred, he reviews the footage, only to discover a chilling video on his phone, seemingly recorded by an unseen. With his camera, the ghost hunter delves deeper into the mystery, capturing even more unsettling phenomena. Objects moving on their own and lights flickering ominously. With each encounter, the ghostly presence becomes more brazen, culminating in the relentless slamming of his refrigerator door. Despite his fear, no ghost hunter persists, determined to uncover the truth behind the haunting of his home. Number 11. A long time ago, I saw a video of a mother filming her two daughters eating. It seemed like a happy family moment until the girl close to the camera saw something in the other room and got scared. No one else saw it, so they kept eating. Her sister tried to make her feel better, but she saw it again and started to cry. Her mother asked her what was wrong, but the girl could only point to the other room. She stood up, too scared to stay near whatever she saw, and ran to her mom. Her sister laughed at first, but then she turned around and saw it too. The video ended soon after. When this video was shared, some people said they could see a figure in the corner just before the video ended. Thanks to a picture I found online, I can now see what they were talking about. I found this picture recently and don't know how they made the figure so clear. What do you think? Was this the ghost that scared them so much? Number 10. A man in India filmed a scary moment at 2 a.m. It looked like it could have been done with a string, but it wasn't. Wait a minute. Do you think this is real or just acting? It looks like something paranormal might have done that to him. Number 9. Josiah Worley has shared some of the best paranormal evidence on TikTok. His story begins in his attic room. One night, while recording his game table, something strange happens. A card leaps off the deck by itself. Shortly after, a cup starts to move on its own. Josiah believes a ghost is moving the cup. He checks the cup immediately, showing there is no string attached.
Mom? Bro. Are you good, bro? You good, bro? Do you see any strings? Did you guys see it move?
Another night, Josiah captures more evidence. With one hand on the camera and the other on his mattress, he watches as an object moves by itself. His clear videos and the eerie happenings in his attic have sparked curiosity and debate among viewers. What do you think? Is Josiah's attic really haunted?
What's good? You're kind of making noises. You're kind of being really loud. It's really irritating. Okay.
Every night he sees the same thing. He walks up to the medicine bottle and it moves by itself. This happens again and again. One night he decides to talk to the ghost. He feels annoyed and shows it. This makes things worse.
It's almost sunrise. Almost f***ing sunrise. What was that? Where'd that go?
In my opinion, the ghost wants nothing more than to be acknowledged. But Josiah wants nothing more than to be left alone. This conflict is bound to create paranormal tension. In the long run, the paranormal activity doesn't stop. So, he gets in the habit of recording his room all the time.
I'm gonna end up leaving.
This ghost orb, in particular, curves around and appears in front of him. When he wants to know what it is, the caption says, "Maybe I should ignore it, but in my opinion, that will only make things even more unpleasant for him in the long run." I think the ghost hates being ignored and is moving objects because it refuses to go unheard. I don't think it wants Josiah out of the apartment. When he says he's going to move out, that's when it becomes absolutely enraged.
Do you guys hear that? No, that doesn't make sense. No, stop.
While looking at the still frame, gaze into the paranormal energy. You can see a yellow phantom figure reaching out. I've circled its head with long hair and pointed at its arm to help you see it better. The figure seems to be grabbing at the area where the object fell over. All of this creeps Josiah out badly enough to ask the ghost, point blank, to do something specific if he's safe.
I got one question for you. Am I safe? If I am, then please knock over the cups. Oh, you saw that.
A cup does not move by itself, but the ghost does push a bag off the table. This is definitely a reply, and I guess it means that he's not safe because it moves a different object than the one he asked it to. Ever since then, things have quieted down. So maybe Josiah just needed to ask for permission to live here. Or maybe this strange, cryptic poltergeist is biding its time, letting him lower his guard before moving on to the next phase of his haunting. Number 8. Don't you hate it when an unwanted guest crashes the party? The Bottom Line recently featured a chilling video that's been trending in the Hindi-speaking YouTube community. Originally posted by Mysteria Dania, the video shows people enjoying a gathering inside a home. But as the camera pans around, something creepy appears in the window. Watch closely. What is this eerie figure with its gaunt features and bulging eyes? It looks like a mix between a ghoul and an alien. What is this ghastly guest? We don't know, but one thing's for sure, don't let it in. Number 7. Ever heard a door sensor beep and wondered what's going on? In Singapore, a lone worker is burning the midnight oil in the office. He's so focused on his work that he doesn't notice the door opening behind him. Something invisible slips into the room. Could it be paranormal? Just as he gets back into his work, a loud, scary noise makes him jump. This time, the sound comes from the manager's empty office, and the lights turn on by themselves. Most people would have left by now, but he carefully walks over to check it out and turn off the lights. Was this a big mistake? If this footage is real, it shows a ghost on camera. The door slams shut and a chair moves by itself. If it's fake, someone could have been hiding under the desk to push the chair. But how could they have closed the door without a string? What's your take? A genuine ghost sighting or just a clever hoax? I'm leaning towards paranormal on this one. Number 6. While staying in a hotel room in Ireland, Roshino grabs her dad to show him something strange. A ghost is moving a cup, she insists. Of course, nothing happens at first, and she looks like she's making it up. But then, suddenly... That's freaky. The cup moves all by itself to the edge of the glass shelf and then stops. There is no string around it that I can see. Besides, she is holding her phone, and her dad is sitting on the bed clear across the room with his back turned, so no one was messing with it. She resets it, and as soon as she complains that it takes the ghost a long time, the cup moves instantly.
Well, like it's taken ages for it to go, you see.
So let's just say there was a string tied around the cup. Her father is now standing to the right of her. If it was him, then the cup should pull to the right in his direction. Instead, it moves straight ahead and stops exactly on the edge of the shelf, same as before. The shelf is level, and there is no moisture around the rim to make it slide like that. This is glass on glass, you can hear the friction. She's right, the cup is moving on its own. Number 5. A paranormal investigator from South Korea, known as Dr. McCall, is standing at the entrance of a spooky abandoned apartment building. This place has a haunted reputation that not many people dare to explore. Dr. McCall is there with respect for the spirits and is just recording paranormal evidence out of scientific curiosity. However, as he takes a few steps inside, he notices an object moving on its own.
누구세요?
A ghost pushing over a box is eerie, but it's not frightening enough to halt the investigation. He continues exploring the building, and as a result, the objects inside continue to move.
잠깐만.
Rather than fleeing in fear like most people would, he courageously chooses to inspect an object after a ghost moves it. I don't see any strings tied around this stool, but I suppose someone could have pulled it away by hand. Just as he's about to leave the room, the poltergeist refuses to be ignored.
뭔 소리야?
A shelf tips over on its own. Initially, I thought somebody might have been hiding on the other side of the door. But see what happens when he checks the room.
이거 여러분들 잡기는 아닙니다. 이거 잡기는
The second full-size shelf somehow falls out from within the small space behind the door, which is not big enough for a person to fit behind. When he checks behind the door at 6 minutes and 4 seconds, you can just barely see a shadow figure caught on camera down a different hallway. The ghost hunter notices one of the doors leading into a dark apartment is open. He senses a paranormal entity is near. As he investigates a little further, a scary moment unfolds.
걸어가고 있어.
One thing I particularly appreciate about D-Dog is that no matter how scared he gets, he always ensures not to back down. He courageously looks behind the door and into the empty apartment. and he discovers nothing. I see no strings attached to the sandals, especially during this close-up taken at 8 minutes and 59 seconds. However, this could potentially be fake because the sandals take tiny steps and never actually leave the ground, which is not how a person walks. Regardless, he finds slippers in front of another open door and encounters the same scary events.
아 잠깐.
This time, he went inside the apartment and confirmed it's totally empty. When he picks up the slippers, you can clearly see there are no strings attached. So at this point, I'm finally creeped out. While arranging an experiment to find paranormal activity inside this apartment, a mysterious figure briefly shows up in the hallway. Was it a ghost captured on camera, or was it just a prop? Number 4. A subscriber reached out to YouTuber Kolia from Seeker of Ghosts with a chilling complaint a poltergeist was wreaking havoc in their apartment. Intrigued and ready for a challenge, Kolia decides to investigate. Armed with only candles and his courage, Kolia arrives at the scene, prepared for a sleepless night. He lights the candles and calls out to the spirit, daring it to show itself.
Если ты сейчас здесь и слышишь меня, прояви себя. Спасибо за то, что ты себя проявил.
Not long after, the atmosphere grows tense. The poltergeist starts with small disturbances shaking the desk, flickering the lights, but soon it escalates, hurling objects across the room.
Офигеть, какая-то уже паранормальная активность. Смотрите, друзья.
As Kolia moves through the apartment, the activity intensifies in the next room. And then, something unexpected happens. Whatever is here is not happy, but this is where the video ends. We won't see how this anger unfolds tonight. Still, if I had to guess, I'd say Kolia is in for a long, restless night. Number 3. I stumbled upon an intriguing image that's currently trending in the Arabic-speaking YouTube community. It was the thumbnail of a video list from a YouTube channel, and it instantly caught my attention. In this short clip from the video, the baby looks strangely demonic due to the eerie eye shine captured by a baby monitor. In this short clip from the video, the baby looks strangely demonic due to the eerie eye shine captured by a baby monitor. The channel only showed this brief clip, and I couldn't find any additional context or the original source. If you know where to find the full version of this clip, please share it in the comments. Help us answer this burning question: is it a baby or a demon? Number 2. Have you ever seen a ghost doing office work? Well, get ready for a surprise. In this video, we see a phantom seemingly getting some clerical tasks done. While one ghost seems to be giving a lecture, another is busy filing papers. It's a bizarre sight, almost as if these spirits are keeping up with their old habits. But here's the strange part: the drawer suddenly falls open on its own. How do you explain that? Is it just a trick of the light? Or could it be the soul of a disgruntled former employee, still causing havoc and mayhem from beyond the grave? Stick around to find out. Number 1. Todd Walker from the ghost hunting channel Holy Walkers has witnessed countless paranormal events. However, the stakes heightened when something trailed him home from an investigation in a chilling April encounter. He captured the ominous signs on camera. Using a second camera, he dispels the notion of strings non-visible, and either shot could they have to use special effects. The cabinet stirs, and then the refrigerator violently swings open, revealing an eerie lack of reflection. No one is seen nearby. Over the next 5 days, unsettling events unfold, shaking lamb sheets, self-closing doors, and a shadowy figure near the stairs. While trick photography may explain some, a closer look reveals an autonomous movement in the lampshades. At the same time, all objects are conveniently on the left, partially concealed, making manipulation easy. Todd could have pushed the couch and returned it by himself. Likewise, the book that falls could have been pushed off camera. Someone might be grabbing the lamp corner while hiding behind the couch. The same goes for when it flips over with a shadow person appearing on the wall. Maybe a spirit is bending light to get noticed, but Todd could have unplugged the light seconds later, making it questionable. The other couch moves, but Todd could have crawled behind at one. It would have been more convincing if both couches moved simultaneously, which would be impossible for one person. Around this time, Todd's son, Kyle, emerges, possibly sleepwalking. However, a strange shadow poses by where he was, followed by a loud crash that somehow doesn't wake him up. A spine-chilling analysis. This leaves me wondering if he's either faking it all or in a deep trance as he stands at the top of the steps, staring directly at the camera. Is this a setup for dramatic effect, or is the spirit letting Todd know it's aware of being watched? Carl looks like he might fall forward, but at the last moment, something pushes him back into his room. It's almost like it's not time for that to happen yet, possibly foreshadowing a future event. Nothing else happens until 4 days later, when their camera records a ball mysteriously rolling down the hallway. They claim not to have done it, but the lack of a second angle raises doubts. Todd feels the paranormal energy growing stronger, deciding to explore his house at night while everyone else sleeps. He picks up indicators of a child spirit, one who might have met a gruesome end. This could be Toll wheezing, but some hear a girl screaming from out. What do you hear?
Who's that?
He hears it too, solidifying that it was a ghost. As he steps outside, the sound becomes clearer.
Is there anyone out here?
It captures chilling screams outside, possibly a ghostly child. Later, he confronts the spirit, receiving spine-chilling responses in the living room, and an eerie chant unnerved viewers. Can you hear it too?
Make yourself known. Oh dude, I swear someone just came from back here. What was that?
In the same area where objects moved, a paper towel roll mysteriously stands up. Strange occurrences continue as Todd hears a child's voice, turning deep and chilling, asking to be heard. A ghostly face appears in the door. The unsettling events unfold at every turn.
Is there anything that you want to say?
That's not him, as he is exhaling when the eerie voice occurs. If a little girl ghost, hope she leaves soon. Whatever took her life, I hope didn't follow. Given Kyle's close call with the steps, it seems there's something else with them. So yeah, it's real,